Hey everybody!
Hello.
We're back.
Hello, hello.
Coco Tapes.
Merry, merry, everything. Yeah,
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 Merry
yeah,
everything. We hope everybody got through the season.
yes, 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 yes. Still on the couch trying to get through it. Yeah,
Yeah, still, still with a
yeah,
bloated belly and some of you maybe with a
yeah,
head full of
yeah, exactly.
wine or whatever, schnapps.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Naps.
today we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about family and friendship, the
Mm-hmm.
new
But
dynamics.
that's a little weird. It's a weird thing together, actually. Friendship and family. Isn't that weird?
No, because I don't think so. Because some of the friendships, they're soul family, right?
Oh, in that way. Okay, so not the biological family. Yeah. Okay, that way. Yes, sure. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Let's
but
talk about
you have
that.
karmic family, you have
Mhm.
real family, you have soul family, you have yeah,
Real family. You mean blood family?
blood family, yeah.
It's not.
That's
That's
what
the
I
one
mean
that's
by
not real.
real family in the 3D. Yeah.
Okay, but the blood family, the so you call real, is not the real one. That's the
No,
one that's
no,
not
no,
real.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. But now I'm using
Uh,
3D terms, okay?
okay.
You on the
Okay.
same
Well, I'm not.
page here?
But I'm not there, so I don't know what to no. No. Talking about. Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
friendships.
Mm.
Friendships. Yeah. Yeah. Well, 'cause what is friendship really? What is? Yeah. Again, I think it's again about what outlook you have, right? Is it the friendship from a friend you had since you were in kindergarten that knows you and has followed you all your life? Is it a new friend that don't know anything about who you were and don't really care because they see you as you are now? And the rest is just histories, it's just stories, right? All the past is just stories we've lived through and it's not there anymore. And it doesn't define you if you don't keep connecting to it,
Yeah.
like all the
Well, the thing
habits
is
of
that
things.
I think that much of it is like I think the what really is the best basis for a good friendship is that, as you said at one point, the ones that actually can tell you things as they are, and the other
Yeah,
thing is that accept also when you change. I mean, you can easily tell, when friendships are outdated. You can tell that
yeah,
by just looking at how they treat you when you've changed. If they're
yeah.
just looking at you and wondering why you're standing over there, you used to stand over here. Could you move back
Mm,
here, man? Then
mm,
okay, you've outgrown this one, right?
mm, mm. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, true. True, true. But I guess maybe as we, or I believe in, so do you, as far as I sense that, it's they say, and I like that. I mean, who's they? That's like, in my case, it's people I follow, read books about, clairvoyant people that I've asked through my life. And every time I see like a red thread, and it resonates in me, first of all. But secondly, that many see it like that. So, okay. So some say that all the people we meet in our lifetime is all people we've had something with before. We come in groups and we actually travel through incarnations together. We don't necessarily have to meet in every life, but when we do, it's usually spot on. We recognize something on a soul level.
Yeah.
And I remember when I started to like really dig this and test it, I like to test it. I'm a big believer, but I'm skeptical in the beginning and I have to test it. And I remember sometimes that like when you meet a new person, could be at a reception or something, and you look in the eyes and they're suddenly like still in a moment. That's actually on a soul level that we recognize each other. Maybe the mental brain and all our persona don't recognize it, but it's a soul. It's on a soul level that the soul suddenly recognize each other and connect.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that you become friends and you can figure things out, but when you can, it's quite amazing. So I like to play that game like in life. Okay, everybody I meet, I met them before, I had some kind of encounter. Some I have some karma with that I have to fix, some I don't, some I maybe create new whatever stories with. So when you look at it like that, I feel that in my case I take full responsibility of my life and my friendships and my connections.
Mm.
I cannot get upset with people without knowing that it's myself I'm getting upset with. It's my own reaction. And they're all actually, we're all one. So when you say something to me that could irritate me, uh, it's just a part of me talking to me that I will not listen to inside. So you are saying the words to me, then maybe I will take them, you know?
Yeah.
And if you play life like that, you get full responsible, you know? You don't have to, you can't point fingers at anything and you can fix everything, really. Because it's not the other person, so it's not your friend. But good, let's take it back to what you said. Yeah, friendship is where you can be yourself, you're seen, you're heard, you can say things as they are, and expect to be met and loved, even though you're saying things in a stupid way or a upset way or whatever. That you can be on you know what it is? For me, it's that I dare to speak my mind without being afraid of being abandoned.
Yeah.
This is what I do with my friends. I speak my mind, and you know me, I don't necessarily wrap it in and sugarcoat it. And it can be quite harsh sometimes because I don't know, I don't have a filter there. I'll just say it as it is. And real friends can't take it. They may get hurt or offended in the moment because some part of them is getting pushed. But we can bounce back and say, okay, let's take that later. We'll take a cup of tea. We'll take it later. Not now, or whatever. If you're, under pressure or whatever.
It's
So
a, it's
yeah,
a,
so
it
to
is
actually
that
be
thing
able to move,
about being able to speak freely. Yeah, that's it. That's the same thing for me.
yes,
The ability to speak freely
without having any fear,
with the
yes,
yeah
and without
the
being afraid. Yeah,
authenticity thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it is quite the, but naturally, your friends, the real friends, bounce back on it. Of course, they may get hurt, as I said, or offended, or fed up, but you get back together, as you would say.
Mm.
You meet up again. So that's and you don't have many. Actually, I just talked to a friend about it. I don't have many friends, real friends, yesterday, and she said like, well, who do you talk to? Who do you actually have as friends? And I said, not many. I have mentioned a couple, and that's enough. And actually, people are lucky to just have one real genuine friend.
Mm.
Just one is enough, because you cannot have many good friends because you have to nurture the relationship. You don't have time to have like 10 friends. And I remember you said last week, when we misunderstood each other, you said, well, I didn't like you have a lot of friends. And I said, you misunderstood. I didn't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates. I have a lot of people I can hook up with. I have a lot
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
many circles. But that's not, I never called them friends. They're
No,
people
but
I know,
I mean,
you know?
anyways, the thing is, as it is now, I feel like the it's also the time when you I don't know. It always feels a little pretentious to call it awakening, but in that process of awakening, there's also this there there has been so much noise, so much, so many people you have let in, so many energies you have let in, that there is a natural
Mm,
process of just
mm,
cleansing out and filtering, where you need to
mm,
spend time on your own, where you need to find out, okay, who's that friend voice inside, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah,
so you
yeah.
you actually
Exactly.
you have to be very much alone to train yourself to actually hear that guy, because that's like the
Mm,
your number one friend, and then comes the cleansing in regards to the outside surroundings. There are many that in that process fall away.
yeah.
People you suddenly realize it's not like you're just losing patience with them, but you also suddenly you question everything, as you've always said,
Mm,
question everything. Yeah, that's exactly the
mm,
biggest part
mm,
of this journey, is like it suddenly comes up in the things you haven't placed any sort of thought in, or any
mm,
things you never questioned before, right? You
mm,
suddenly start
mm,
to find out, wow, wait a minute. And the easy ones are like we also talked about before, are the ones your drinking buddies, your festive buddies, the people that you used to think were really fun to hang out with as soon as you ate and drank and did other things that were recreational or in just purely pleasure based. And then the
mm.
next step is like those people whose advice you used to cherish, which
Yeah.
where you suddenly realize that in conversations you might realize that, wait a minute, it's been a long time actually since I've received advice.
Mm,
It's been a very long time since I've been giving advice only. And then
Mm.
is it being followed? Is it actually being cherished or listened to, or is it just
Mm.
offending, or is it just being
Mm.
ignored, or whatever, you know? And
Yeah.
that's the natural selection, I would call that, of what's happening. And I can see you're way beyond all of this. Just taking it a little, just this, the little step back for people that maybe just step on us, and just,
Yeah.
so that we don't always talk like the two of us talk, because we know each other and we know the process. So
Mm.
taking it a little back to
Mm.
your turn.
Mm. Yeah. No, no, but true. But basically, I think I had this with my kids because they were like me. We're not normal in any way, you know. So the social thing has always been a challenge. Not a challenge seen from the social view, yes, but from us, no, really, because I feel we were right. You know, it's about one on one, it's about being authentic. Anyway, but in the social norm that's out there in society, we were very misfit. Always, I've always been, and so has my kids. Which was in the beginning, it could be a little painful, but quickly I could step up, and of course I had the experience, you know, and could tell them what they could do to manage or to handle it. And then of course they got sad and they got whatever if they didn't get the calls, didn't get invited for everything. Like this person said yesterday, it's very, very true. We are always welcome, but we are seldom invited.
You have to. Your hand is
Oh
somewhat
yeah.
too close to
I
mine.
like that sentence. We are always welcome, but seldom invited.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
That's the kind of people we are. They
yeah,
always like when we're there, but we're not the ones on the list because we are authentic, which is challenging in a room where you just want to drink or talk about the new Gucci bag or
yeah,
whatever. So I taught my kids be your own best friend first. Stop looking out. This is also the program. We're so programmed to look out for nurture or to advice and love and so on. Start being what's the best friend to you? Oh, this being like that or come and call him. Well, do it to yourself.
mm,
Be your own best friend first. The same with love and lovers. Be your own best lover first, you know,
yeah,
before you start searching outside. So being a really good friend to yourself and polishing yourself off, your connections with friends, new friends or old, get really good. Really, really good. And you never feel abandoned or alone or whatever, because even though your friends then don't have time for you, well, you're your own best friend. You have your own time for yourself, right?
yeah,
And this, I wish more would realize to be their own best friends. But you don't want to sit with it. Most people don't want to sit with themselves. They gotta get distortion. You know, get out there and you know get
yeah,
away from that feeling or talk about that feeling with somebody else. You know, but talking about that back in the days when my older friends that we grew apart. We're not like there's no bad blood or anything, but it's just like not interesting for either parts, which is cool, lucky, because in the beginning when I started walking this walk, it was always me having to leave friendships, and that made them feel bad. Right
mm,
now, I'm in a place where it's just dissolving by itself, which is cool so nobody feels bad. But I remember you. I don't know if you experienced this. Like if somebody had a problem, the same kind of love or problems, we would meet and drink coffee or booze or whatever and talk. Like for 2 years,
yeah,
same thing,
yeah,
right? Just nourishing this story, and
yeah,
she or he would just sit. I did the same. Talk about oh, he's such an asshole. Such a, blah 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 blah. For like ages, and I remember when I was young, very young, I started to say to my friends because they would never really get that I would just sit. I wouldn't sit for years. Yes, 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 right. Yeah, he's terrible. Such an asshole. Come on, cheers. I would tell them, listen, and I felt wrong, but now I know I wasn't. I would say to them, listen, I'm the friend you call when you need something fixed. I will let you cry on my shoulder for 2 days, but that's it. 2 days.
yeah,
Come on my couch for 2 days, and
yeah.
I'll cook and I'll fix and I'll nurture you, and then we start walking.
Working, yeah,
You need
but
2 years to stop, you call the other friends,
yeah.
which is cool. And I know they found me very harsh back then. They don't now because, I will not sit and repeat the story with you.
But the thing about that is that I got to the same place by just, studying the dynamics. So
Yeah.
when you meet up with a friend, and then in the very beginning, well, maybe you would drink, and then everything would just get worse from there, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
at first it would be like oblivious, and maybe you'd create this space where you and the friend could have a good time, but suddenly all if when as soon as they remembered that they had just been through a breakup, the whole evening would turn sour, right? And then the next day
Yeah,
they would feel
yeah.
terrible, and the
Mm-hmm.
conversation would always be like this. They would say, "And why did she? And why? And blah blah blah." And then you'd say, "But yeah, but that's because I think it's actually good, and she was also terrible at this and this and this." And then they would just say, "But she was so nice and this, and I miss
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and that so much." And then you would say, "Yeah, I can understand. Well, I did get how why you guys met, and that you like this and this and this, and that she was always that and
yeah,
that and that." And then they would go over in the other one. Yeah, but she was also terrible at. So you'd always
yeah,
be on the opposite side of where your friend was, no matter what.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
would just be switching,
yeah,
switching, switching, switching. After a while, you felt like a sheep jumping over fences, right?
yeah. So, yeah,
And that's
exactly.
when it really when you had a friend that really went through this and just couldn't let go. Then after a while, you'd be so aware of that dynamic that you'd be bored already the second you stepped into the room because you knew where
Yeah,
this was going, right? And that
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
helping, and that
yeah.
it was just like, okay, but we're never getting anywhere. I mean, I would like to, if this helps, if this is part of the healing process, yeah, sure, you can do that. We can do that for hours on end. But
Mm.
come on, man, it's been 14 days with that shit, right? and and then maybe a
Okay.
month, and then maybe, and then you hear all these theories about it takes 2 years. And you're like, no, fuck, no way, man. I'm gonna go through this shit for 2 years.
Mm,
So,
exactly.
yeah, then there's I do feel you, but I believe that many people that just still reside very much in the 3D, they are having a hard time of not viewing it as being tough love. If you tell them after 2 days already, enough, because they're still there, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I guess for me, it's about in these periods. I felt wronged. I was wronged because I didn't have a lot of friends. Like suddenly everything got very silent, very quiet. This is very nice again. The more you know the truth, or the more you get into your truth, the more quiet your phone goes, right?
Yep, true.
Uh, 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 and uh, and but we're so programmed to what social success is. What social
Yeah.
success is having a busy phone, right? Having a lot of people call you, and you have to say no, and feel important, so on. And I did have a period, and we spoke about that before, also where my daughter would ask me like, "But who do you talk to?" Like, kind of blaming me or making me feel like, oh, I felt bad, like.
Yeah.
She's like pushing my button. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to very few.
Yeah.
But it seemed wrong, right? Because
Yeah.
we are used to being active socially. And yeah, but again, for me, the friendship is the most important friendship is with yourself, really.
Yeah.
And your one source, if you believe in that, is the most important to have the conversations there. And then the rest will come. I know many are feeling now like, where's my tribe? Now I've done all this cleansing and purging and healing. And they all
Mm.
talk about this tribe and we will meet each other and, oh, the real family. And I feel that many, including myself, and still waiting for it. And then I'm looking around. Like this morning, I thought, okay, I'm still waiting for this big tribe, even though I don't really want to live in one because I'm kind of a loner. Um, and then I started counting who I actually do have around me. And I actually do have tribe members already, right?
Yeah.
But because it's people that I've known for a while, I don't see, I was like expecting new tribe people to
Yeah. Yeah.
jump in. New people, these perfect matching vibrational.
Yeah.
But no, and I think maybe people should also look around. This good habit you could have that I also had, adapted a long time, adopted a long time ago. Now, once a year, I would ask my friends why we're friends. And I would say, tell me three things that you would say to define me when you should introduce me to somebody else. And tell me why we're friends. To actually verbalize, are we growing apart?
Yeah.
Or what is the quality here? Is it because you can come on my couch and whine over this and that lover that's an idiot? Or what is it? What is the value really here?
Mm.
And it's a really hard play, not for me anymore, but it's a hard play, a hard game,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
actually sit down and say, uh, well, I like you because of this or that. And sometimes you'll find out you actually hang out with people that like you for not really good qualities or habits, and vice versa.
But
So
it's very,
this honesty to
yeah,
what?
that is important. But the thing is also that being like in for the first time in the space where I'm actually getting closer to myself and being much alone. Uh,
Hmm.
it really is interesting also to find that yeah, sure, there is like also a part of it that is confrontation with loneliness,
Hmm.
and there might be some part of it that is sorrow. But actually, if you let the quiet set in and
Hmm.
sink in, then
Yeah.
there is a part that actually also feels whole and connected for the very first time, which I found very amazing. It's like, in my
Yeah.
youth and younger days, I used to be so afraid of being
Yeah.
very, very afraid of being alone, very afraid of things turning quiet. Always,
Yeah.
like the kind of guy that would actually say something, just for the conversation not to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the noise. Yeah.
And uh,
Yeah.
and now it's very different, and I really value silence. I
There's
just
this very nice thing. Sit with it. It's called sit with it. And my
yeah,
friends would hate me for saying it. Now they're not. Now they're slowly not hating. I said, listen, every time you get this feeling when you want to light a cigarette or have a coffee or go party or have a drink or go shopping or whatever, just stop just for 2 seconds and sit with it. What is this?
yeah,
There's a pain, some kind of emotional pain or frustration that we keep avoiding by not just sitting with it for a moment. Take a breather, sit down,
yeah,
and just feel, and then you will transmute it because just this giving it attention, you don't have to figure it out or go in therapy with it every time, but it will actually move through you and go away. Some things keep returning. And I remember the other day where you actually said to me, I think I bashed you a little bit or something, or you felt I did. Uh, because every it's not every day we like hearing things. Me neither. And you kind of bashed me, and you told me, well, that's because it's so easy for people. This is my version, to say something and then they're just like off. They say something and then, like they just stick in the knife and they leave, kind of.
yeah,
And then I called you back and said, but listen, I don't leave. I may bash you or stick in a knife, or you feel that I stick in a knife. It's not my intention, but I'm still here. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And that's different. And that's for me friendship, that you can do that and you can count on people being there.
yeah,
Even when you did something ugly or you're screaming or you're sad or you look stupid or whatever, that of course your friend is there or friends are there.
yeah,
But we're so used to being abandoned. We're so used to being abandoned from childhood,
yeah,
emotionally, not necessarily physically, but emotionally. That you have to behave nice or be a good boy or whatever or girl to keep the love, right? To keep people loving you. And then this is not the case. Well, not with me. But it's so. But it's also important to say it, and this is why I called you back to say, hey, listen, this pattern you may have or think you have, it doesn't count here,
yeah,
right? And this is what I feel so important to also help each other generally and set each other straight for the friendship. Yeah, to show that support that you're
yeah,
there. And I always have problem with this because I'm like a dog, the loyal thing. I defined maybe too harsh from young. Like friendship for me was like I would really show all the worst side of myself, also within the relationships. Like, can you handle this? This was my abandoned issue. Like
you
push
know what
people
you
so hard and see, are you still there? Are you still there?
you know what you
Like
call that? There is a term for that. Do you
no,
know what you call that?
no.
That's the panda ritual. The panda will beat
Okay,
up her mates. She will beat them up.
okay.
The one that stays, that's the one she'll make with.
Okay. Well, I guess that's what I am. I'm a panda then. Okay.
You've been a panda mom.
Obviously. Yeah. And that was my pattern. And I am, and I've defined friendship like this. As I told you, like if I was you called me from Africa for you've been kidnapped or whatever, or you went on a bad trip and something happened, you can call me anytime, 3 a.m. in the night, and I'll charter a helicopter and I'll come get you. This is the way I did friendship, and I still do. And that loyalty, and I've had that actually. when I was younger, especially. I think I still have it mentally. Maybe people won't physically be able to do this or want to do this, but and this was what because the rest are just associates or people
Yeah.
that you will not call 3 a.m. and they'll come and get you, which is fine, but you must have some.
Is that your sly way of saying we should change the intro theme to Mission Impossible?
Exactly, but that's why I always love that movie because this is what it's like dying, do or die. It's like you gotta go like that. It has to be like that. Cause the rest is just what is that? Just noise,
Yeah.
really, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Just to put in a little funny note, actually just because I remember it was my. You remember in Mission Impossible 2, which was a terrible movie, when he says, I think it's Anthony Hopkins that plays his boss, and he gives him. He says like, you have to break in, you have to take offline this computer, which is a standalone, and it's been guarded by 5 combinations, and there are guards here, 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 and there. And then he says, but that's not possible. How when Anthony Hopkins just very dryly says, "Mr. Hunt, it's called Mission Impossible, not Mission."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. True. Wow. Yeah, yeah.
That goes for life too sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it really feels like Mission Impossible. It's like the thing about the that actually only in the moment when you truly let go, you suddenly feel like things are falling into place because you're not
Exactly.
looking at staring yourself blind on something that
No.
actually the Buddhist thing where they also say, if you keep the problem like here, it's blocking like 50% of your view and you can't see shit. If you put it far away
Yeah.
from you and look at it in context, then suddenly things start opening up, even
Yeah.
your periphery. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's been a long
Yeah.
time about friendship. Should we leave it at that?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, everybody,
Friendship.
thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
yeah.
time with us. And like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the
Mm-hmm.
next one. Mm. Do leave a comment.
Yeah.
Keep it civil. We'd love comments, man. All right.
Yep. Bye now.
Oh, bye bye for now.
Ta ta ta.